pattern's lost, and the whole thing breaks apart. So that's usually, that happens in the teenage years when a parent says, as long as you're living under my house, you'll obey my rules, right? That's usually when the teenager, at their worst, says, you can't do that to me, I have rights. And that's when your house is in chaos. That's what's happening to us now. And we don't have to worry about our rights. When we start concentrating on our responsibilities, and we start concentrating on the pattern, we'll be okay. And it will restore itself. The free market. The free market. I think it's God's way of teaching people how to do good. And here's why. How can you get gain? How can you get gain? You can either come up with an idea and convince other people, this is a great idea. And then you can sell it to them. And then they can buy it, and they'll tell a friend, this is fantastic. And they'll buy another one from you. And it will spread. What are you doing? For the free market to work, because it'll only work if you're selling your friends and people crap, it'll only work for a short period of time. People will go, that's crap. So for the free market to work, you have to provide something that somebody needs, somebody wants, something that's going to enrich their life or make them have an easier go of it. That's the free market system. The only other way to make money is to cheat, to steal, or to swindle. But it's really just those choices. Guess which one we've been doing lately. Back in just a second. So tonight we're just going to spend some time, and I just want to have a conversation with the audience here in New York. Just kind of a cross-section of, I don't know how many of you guys just stumbled in here somehow or another. Like, I thought they were selling hamburgers. And I just want to have a conversation with you on what you think our biggest problems are. Where do you think we're headed? Where do you think we're headed? I'd just like to get my foot into the water here a little bit and get a temperature check on America's feeling. There's chaos. There's chaos. I mean, I don't know how you get Jennifer built by doing this. But, you know, people believe that. But it causes other problems. Because if the natural universe is decay, how many people believe in God? Okay. So if I may disagree, just, feel free to disagree with me if I've miscast you. But you generally believe that because there is a God, He is good, He is loving, things are going to be okay in the end. They may stink on ice for a while. They may not end up the way we want them to, but things in the end will, because no matter what religion you are in, a Messiah comes. And there is a redemptive period, and that's when justice happens. For the good and the bad. Which side are you on? The naughty list or the nice list, right? So in the end, people can say, if you're religious, I know there is a God, and He loves us, and there will be justice in the end. Right? If you don't believe in God, and you know that the natural universe is chaos, where's your hope? There is no hope, right? Is there? So, if the natural universe is chaos, what is required?
Don't you put hope in people?
Pardon me?
You put hope in your leaders then.
You put hope in your leaders, but what do your leaders have to do?
Yeah.
Your leaders have to make sure that you're in line. And they have to make the decision They have to make the decision. It doesn't matter. This yellow one doesn't make a difference. We're talking about the whole jar here, because they have to take on the God role. And if you look at history just in our own country, you go back to World War I. They immediately, and it's the people that evolutionists, it's the Fabian socialists and it is the progressives that said, we can never let this happen again. So they immediately said, League of Nations, freaked America out. They're like, okay, progressives are spooky. And then what happened? After that, it was World War II. They finally got the United Nations in. But then right after that, they said the United Nations was going to end all war. But then, nuclear war. So we spent all that time worried about being vaporized by people. And then it was nuclear winter. Then it was global warming. Then it was population explosion. Now it's global warming. It's always something. Why? Because of this. And so somebody has got to save the whole jar. And that's the problem. That's our job is this. What happens in between? What happens in between? Yes.
I don't think that, well, in terms of the jar getting back to where it was, it's partially on the jelly beans parts too, right? To be morally responsible and to move back into an order, because if someone is trying to align them and the people are resisting, well, they have to believe that within themselves too, right? We have a moral responsibility to try and be hopeful and figure out a way to make the pattern come back.
Well, what is the order? What is the pattern of our nation? The basic pattern of our nation, Emma.
I would say American exceptionalism. Do we believe that we accomplished something amazing when we founded this company? Or, I'm sorry, this country?
Yeah.
And if we don't believe that we did that in the first place, you know, we won freedom, we ordered our freedom, now we have to sustain our freedom.
Right, and that's the hard part. That's what Ben Franklin said. Giving you a republic if you can keep it. But that's still one step up. Can somebody help me with what is the order? Gabe?
Isn't it about, having moral rectitude and just having a solid foundation for your own personal, how you conduct your affairs and in your life in general at a
I think it's
individual level?
I think it's, and this is where everybody goes astray on religion, because I'm not talking about a specific religion. It is just God. Whatever you define God, God. Ben Franklin had the best answer. Well, what is the American religion? He said that there is a God. We're going to meet him when we die. He's going to hold us responsibility. Read the first part of the book. He gets a little pissy. And then the best way to make sure that he's cool with you is to serve him. And the best way to serve him is to serve his fellow creations. It's not happenstance that we are the most charitable nation ever in the history of the world. You don't have to teach that to Americans. We just do it. But that is the order. That is one of the big pieces of order. There is a God. He'll hold us accountable. It's what we do in between. He will hold us accountable for what we do. And the best way to please him is to love each other, is to help each other out. And that starts in here, and it grows to the family. The next, first align with that. And then the next thing is to align with your family. Look at our families. And look at the people who say it's out of order, things are out of order. What are they trying to do? They're trying to control our families, parent for us. That doesn't give us the opportunity to learn. It doesn't give us the opportunity. Who here hasn't learned more from their children than any teacher? I mean, I have. You can line up teacher after teacher after teacher. My children are the ones who teach me the greatest rules. I mean, the ones that really count. They're the ones that teach. We're supposed to be teaching them. But I don't know about you. I learn more from them. So now, if that's the order, what are we doing about it now? Has anybody changed their life? Has anybody found themselves, I know I'm not alone in that feeling of, what I said at the beginning of the show, this isn't what I planned. This isn't how I saw my life 5 years ago. Has anybody really changed? Is anybody doing things that has pushed them into an uncomfortable place and pushed them into doing something that you thought, no way I would do that? Anybody? Come on. Barbara?
I have to say, I never thought, never involved with politics, nothing. I was very happy being a CPA, a college professor, a mom, and so forth. Well, when this all started and I started researching what is going on in our country and why doesn't it make sense to me, and then when they started talking about health care, and I was sitting at my parents' kitchen table, my mom said to me, I'm glad I had my heart surgery already because I don't think I'd get it now. And I said to her, Mom, I said, we would take care of you no matter what. As those words came out of my mouth, I knew that may not be true. That may not be true. And then I started to realize that our seniors have this target on them, especially our older seniors, this target on their assets, on their retirement savings, on their health care, on their security. And I said, I have to do something. These
now you're just
seniors
standing
are
in
out
your
there.
kitchen.
I have to do something. Yes, this process went on in my mind after that conversation with my mother. And I said, I have to do something. Never thought I would. I started a group in Florida with the help of some other people, 912 Super Seniors. It's to give seniors 65 and older a forum and a voice. Today they had their 6-month meeting down in Florida because other people are leading it when I'm not there. Never thought I'd do that.
That's amazing. So what is the goal?
The goal is to come together in groups. Hopefully this will spread, and other 912 groups. South Florida 912 helped us get started. Hopefully other groups will enable these senior groups to form. And the purpose of the groups is to educate ourselves and each other, to empower seniors to know that we have life experiences and we have good judgment and we have values.
May I add something to your plate?
Yes.
This is something that I have been, I was out west and I was talking to a friend of mine who's trying to figure out how to restart America. And I sat there one night, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, it had been bothering me, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I started writing. And I said, and he's in this particular situation, I thought, okay, what are his assets? What are the assets that he has available? Let's forget about the problems. Let's look at the assets. And that led me to a series of ideas to help him. The same thing happened to me here recently. What are the assets that we have as Americans? What are they? And seniors were the first on my list. And I want to talk to you about that here next.